Okay guys, we got the oil pan off. There's a bunch of parts of piston rings, piston, just a bunch of metal chunks, sludge. It's pretty gross in here. Hopefully there's no other metal. Hopefully it's just from the pistons and the cranks aren't destroyed. But now we gotta get this oil pump tube off and the rest of this timing chain, so we can get this gasket off here, and then we can see underneath and flip it to get the pistons out. Okay guys, we got the block flipped over so we can get the crankshaft out and all the pistons. Here's the camshaft. It actually looks pretty good. There's no scoring and it doesn't go lower than the edges on each lobe, so I don't see it scratched down like a common failure with a lot of 5.7 Hemis. This one did not fail to that failure, but instead the valve seat failure was what took this engine. So luckily it looks like the cam's going to be okay. Don't have to purchase a new one of those. So yeah, we'll just take this crank out. So I thought I'd take it off time lapse real quick and show you guys one of these pistons coming off in normal speed. It's actually pretty neat. So you just turn it till it's face up, and then you can get your wrench on it. And their torque's like kind of tight. They're 10 mils for the 5.7, and you just undo it. And it only takes about 2 turns to get it loose to where you can do it with your fingers. Helps to use a longer wrench, maybe not a torque wrench, but that's what I have. Breaker bars are probably better. And then you just loosen it with your hand. It's easier to use the socket. You just do this. And there's one of them. Got my labeled bags so I don't lose the bolts. I remember where they go. And this one as well. There's another bolt. It's held in by 2, each connecting rod. And then it just take the end of the screwdriver and gently press against the inside of the piston to crack, the end of the connecting rod. There's one end of it. And keep in mind these pistons are going to be replaced, so using a screwdriver on them doesn't really matter. And then once you've done that, you can now get the piston itself out. You just take 2 fingers and push from the connecting rod all the way down, and it'll come right out. It's pretty interesting. Just like that. Hold on, gotta get my fingers straight here. There we go. There's another one. See, it's got all the rings and they're a little worn. All of them are quite worn, so this is gonna have to be honed. And there's the rod. I'll show you inside. You can see the hole that came out. So yeah, pretty neat. Alright guys, here's the block with no pistons in it. And then here's all the pistons on the floor here. This one in particular is the worst one. This was, I believe, cylinder 2. I think this one received the worst of the valve seat drop. So I'm gonna put this piston on a shelf because I think it's kind of cool. And then there's the rest of them. Most of the other ones look pretty good except for some. And now I'm just gonna take all of these bolts off and get the crankshaft out. Okay guys, I just got all the mounts holding the crank down off. I'm now going to attempt to lift this thing out of the engine. I don't know how heavy it is, but it might be entertaining. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at normal time while I do that. Hopefully it's not like 200 pounds. It looks like it would be, but I guess we'll find out. I don't want to damage it, so I'm going to try to put it down gently. Ooh, feels like it's going to be heavy. Oh, wow. That's pretty heavy. Good Lord. Oh. Alright, we got it on the ground. Okay, stop rolling. Okay, cool. Okay. We got it on the ground here, and here's the bearings. I'm going to replace all these bearings because they all look kind of scored. So here's a close-up of one. Actually, this one doesn't look too bad, but you can see the lines on it. I mean, we're in here anyway, might as well, right? Anyway, here's the bare block. Alright guys, everything is officially off the block. It is stripped down to bare metal. There's nothing inside, there's nothing on the outside. I got the mounts off in the last time lapse, as well as the dipstick tube. Now I'm going to go get a brush and some cleaner, and we're just going to clean everything to prepare it to be honed. And in the next video, we'll bore and hone the engine.